Hello, Noose Little Podcast listeners. Allow me a moment to promote our new official Noose Little Theater merchandise. This can be bought at any show we have. And as you come see, you can go up to the merch table and ask the man or lady, and you can get your official NLT merch. Here's what we have. We have hats, toboggans, hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and we even have big and tall sizes. Just ask the person and they'll set you right up. We also have blankets, pins, keychains, stickers, tumblers, frosted pint glass, coffee mug, aluminum water bottle, backpack, and tote bags, etc. We have it all. Be sure to check out our special anniversary merchandise, including our t-shirt featuring all the shows of our historic 50th season. Thank you, and thanks for listening. Hello, and welcome to Noose Little Podcast. This is an audio presentation featuring the backstage antics and stories from your favorite log cabin located on the banks of the Noose River in Smithfield, North Carolina. Please help us celebrate our 51st season and purchase tickets on our website, www.nooselittletheater.org. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the various podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Now please, enjoy the show. Ooh, let me channel my inner spookiness. Ooh, welcome to Noose Little Podcast. This is our spooky episode. If there's anything more spooky than the news, it's the movies we will talk about this evening. We are talking about horror movies that have come out in the year 2025. But first, some business. We're doing this to promote our spooky double feature that we're having here at the Hut, which is going to happen on October 18th at 7 p.m. Concessions will be available. We are showing Dracula, that's the 1931 version, directed by Todd Browning and starring Bela Lugosi, and something I wasn't consulted on at all, and it just kind of happened. Yeah, I'm waiting for your story on this, because I haven't heard it. We're also showing The Killer Shrews, which I assume is like, no, it's public domain.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, how do we come to show The Killer Shrews?
Because it is the best bad movie I've ever witnessed in my entire life. It is spectacular. I stumbled on it by accident many years ago. It stars a very young James Best and Ken Curtis. So you've got Roscoe P. Coltrane and Festus in the same movie as rivals. And so it's a group of people who are stuck on an island in the middle of a hurricane, and they've created these giant shrews who are going to eat them, basically, and it's ridiculous on all levels. So.
When we first had this idea at the board meeting, when it was first brought to my attention that we were really going to do this, I was just like, well, is it going to be interactive at all, or is it just we're going to sit and watch the movie? And that's you're telling me we're watching the movies that are so bad they're good. It's going to be hard for it not to have some type of...
I mean, I don't know. This is new. We don't know whether or not people are going to come to be to interact or not. I mean, and we haven't pinned it, advertised as that. Everybody's like, are people going to dress up? I was like, I'm not going to tell them they can, but I'm not going to make it a requirement to come and do it. So we'll see. But yeah, it's a wonderful, it's just bad. It was made in 6 days for $125,000 in 1959.
Yeah. This sounds like one of those Roger Corman low budget. Is it Roger Corman?
No, it's Gordon McClendon, who was a radio personality in Dallas, Texas. And he also made the giant Gila monster.
As we all know, as the Academy Award winning giant Gila monster. I'm going to introduce you to the other guest here in a minute. But we are going to have that double feature here again on October 18th. That's a Saturday at 7 p.m. Is popcorn going to be available?
I believe we have procured a way to make popcorn, yes.
Tamara said she would volunteer to be the popcorn girl.
We're going to borrow the popcorn machine from St. Anne's.
Okay.
Or no, St. Paul's Church down the street. And we're going to have fresh popcorn, and we'll need somebody who knows how to work it, basically.
Someone's going to have to clean that up.
Yeah. This is a dry run to see if we want to do it, because a lot of other live performance places have popcorn at intermission, and I've fought it very hard because it is a pain to clean.
Yeah.
because I've never been able to eat popcorn without dropping a third of it on the floor, even in my house.
All right. So please come out for our first ever spooky double feature. We want to see if this works here at the Hut. And if the type of audience interaction thing kicks off where there's jokes and stuff, that might be something very unique for this area, where we just show terrible movies.
I think it'd be great. I mean, and if we decide to do a movie night again, if this turns out to be something people really enjoy doing, it doesn't have to be a bad movie, but I would love to do a bad B movie midnight showing as a regular occurrence.
That would be cool. I'd be down for that. Okay. Also, we have a show. We are sitting on the stage right now, and we have a show going up in November. It goes up the second week in November.
One Christmas Eve at Evergreen Mall.
Let me introduce my guest, and we are going to talk about a couple of the horror movies that we've all seen in the year 2025. 2025 has been an outstanding year for horror. And on the podcast here to talk about horror movies is my tried and true companion, Tamara Baltazar. Say hello.
Hi.
Get closer to the mic.
Hi.
Okay. And then sitting next to her is Randall Lawrence Hurt.
Yellow.
And sitting across the table from me is my brother, Justin.
Hello.
And we will all talk about these horror movies. First of all, let's kind of like talk about 2025. It's been just a crazy year for horror. We're going to talk about like 4 of them, but really I have a list here. It's just 28 Years Later, Sinners, Bring Her Back, Companion, Final Destination, Bloodlines. I haven't named a movie that's terrible yet, I don't think. The Monkey, that one wasn't so good. Together, Wolfman.
The Monkey was fine.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Terrible.
Again?
So bad.
They did the remake. Let's get our conversation started with the one that came out. This is a really successful movie. It came out in March, and this is Ryan Coogler's Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan. I mean, this movie came out, and it had been kind of a slow movie year so far. Nothing really big had come out, and this movie just bam! I just like, this is the first good movie of 2025, and I saw it at the Alamo with Tam, and then we saw it again with Justin about a week later. And where'd you see it, Randy?
AMC, I think. That's where I see almost all my movies.
Tam, you went into it, and you had no idea it was a horror movie.
Yeah, anybody that has told me that they're going to watch it, I ask them if they know anything about it, and if they're like, no, I'm like, good, keep it that way.
It's a blues movie.
Yeah, it's a blues movie. Go in blind. And they did in the marketing, I remember they didn't really convey that it was a horror movie, specifically a vampire movie. And I thought that was really clever. Randy, if you want to piggyback on that.
Yeah, I mean, the basic plot of the movie is a pair of twin brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, who made some money working for gangsters in Chicago, come back to their hometown somewhere in the Deep South. I forget the exact timeline. I want to say the 1920s or so.
Yeah.
And decided to establish a blues club specifically for black people in that part of the world. And then things go wrong when vampires show up.
Which is just, it's great when there's a movie synopsis where you're telling a regular movie and then you end it with, and then things go wrong because vampires show up.
But that was actually one of the things I didn't like about the movie.
That's the movie, though.
I know, because it felt like they had one really good idea for a movie based around a pair of brothers who worked as gangsters in Chicago, coming back to the deeply racist antebellum South and trying to...
Not antebellum South.
Not antebellum, post-Civil War South, trying to set up a nightclub. And they had a different story about vampires, and they decided to make them one movie. And for me, it didn't really work.
But the layers, how the vampires, because there's 2 different evils in the movie. There's the KKK, which represent like the sort of the cowardice evil, because they don't, because they're not the villain of the movie, but they are a villain. And there's a lot of like how the vampires are. It's not that they're evil; it's that it's their nature. Like, they're not doing this because you are black. They're doing this because you're here.
I'm glad you brought that up. This is one of the very first vampire movies where I'm like, it doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, being a vampire ain't too bad in this one.
I mean,
That's
what?
true.
We can't go out during the day? That's about all that's really bad here. And at the very end of the movie, they kind of drive that point home. Pardon me. But let's do the synopsis just a little bit more. When you mentioned the KKK is involved in the story because the head of the KKK sells this warehouse that the 2 brothers are turning into this juke joint. And they have we can't forget Sammy, the very talented musician. It's his first ever movie. I should have the actor's name written down, but I don't. But it's his first.
He was terrific.
He was.
Yeah, his first ever movie, and he's a very talented blues singer. He's just got it in him. He's like, his daddy is a preacher, and they call him Preacher Boy. That's his blues name, and his father is obviously always on him to put down that devil's music, son. Come back to the Lord. And there's this pull between he wants to stay true to his father, but he also wants to get out there and see the world. And he has the talent to do so because he's actually very, very good. And we think it's this movie about really just these two brothers doing the juke joint. Then all of a sudden things go dark when vampires are introduced to the equation. And the way they're introduced is Indians know about the vampires, and they're chasing this man to a house. And the man, big thing in this movie with there's a lot of vampire rules out there. One of the big vampire rules in this movie is that you can't come into a human's residence without them giving you permission or some.
You have to be invited in,
or tacit form of. You just have to say the words. Really, you don't even have to mean it. So we know there's vampires, and they finally make their way to the juke joint and. Sammy, all right, tell me what Sammy does. What can he do? What's his power?
So Sammy, you got it?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's another one of the things that I didn't really understand why they put it in there. So Sammy is a very good blues guitarist, and for some reason his music has the ability to summon spirits from the afterlife.
It does not summon spirits from the afterlife. That was him, because they talk about culture, specifically black culture with music, and what they're showing you, literally, but as a metaphor, is Sammy has this inherent ability to channel his ancestors and all the things they've been through music, and that he's talented enough to carry it to the future. That's why you see futuristic, people, and it's
all of a sudden we're in the juke joint, and all of a sudden there's this dude with a very 1990s electric guitar, and we're like, whoa, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
Then there's
kind
someone
of a trippy.
Yeah, it's trippy.
Scene.
It's meant to showcase his talent.
But I was talking about the fact that the vampires, towards the end of the movie, specifically tell Sammy they showed up because his music called.
Yes,
Yes.
they called. Yes,
Because-
so he did actually conjure the vampires to the juke joint.
Yeah.
As much as I didn't love the movie, I have to admit there were some very strong performances. The guy who played Sammy was excellent. I'm not a big Michael B. Jordan fan, but I thought he landed these two characters quite
thought he
well
was really
and
good
played
this
them
morning.
differently.
I love the
enough
effects
that
with them.
It worked.
How they had them on screen together, passing cigarettes. It's really
Yeah, they
cool.
touch each other, which is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, they're and they both have distinct personalities,
they
and that's
do.
what I
Oh,
like.
Which is
about them.
that's very hard to do, and he did it well.
Oh, but the other great performance in the movie is the head vampire, played by Jack O'Connell.
Oh my God!
I
yeah.
thought he was really good. He's having a great year.
He's
'cause
having a great year.
He was in 28 Weeks Later as well.
This man needs to stop being allowed to go into the woods and recruit people. This is the third movie where he goes into the woods and creates a big band of troublemakers.
One reason I really love this movie is that it tricks you. Out of nowhere, it becomes one of my favorite directors type of movie, and that's a John Carpenter movie. Out of nowhere, my personal favorite type of movie that's a horror, usually a horror, but sometimes it's an action movie, is a group of people are in a location, and whatever's outside is trying to kill them and get inside, which is what happens in this movie. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we're in a John Carpenter. So much so that my favorite movie of all time is The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing. And there's a callback to The Thing in the movie where they all, to test if anybody's a vampire, they have them eat garlic, like raw garlic.
Yeah.
And that's totally a...
To when they tested the blood in the
tested
thing.
blood. Yeah, it's totally a send-up of that. And
I also love that almost every character in Sinners is very smart. There's this scene that I think about where, I forget her name. Was her name Hattie? Annie, thank you. There's not a single character that is an idiot or a moron that's not believing her. They're all locked in, like, all right, gotcha. It's a Hain or a vampire. All right, what do we do? And she's like, all right, this is what we do. And I love that because most horror movies, you have at least one idiot that's just like, no, I don't believe that. Let me go check it out. And it's a trope that I'm glad is not in there. Everyone locks in on her.
final thought before we get to the coda on the very end. A lot of people think that the the twins' names are Smoke and Stack.
Smoke and Stack, yeah.
And their real names are Elijah and Eli.
You remember
it's
I was...
E and E. It's Eli, and I think it's Eli and Elijah, but that doesn't sound right. But At the very end of the movie, what some people think was overkill, after they defeated the vampires and it's morning, his twin brother has now been turned into a vampire. And so one of them is human and one of them is a vampire. And he's gotten away with Sammy. Sammy got away. And then the KKK show up. Like, after all this, they're like, oh my God. And so, like, they come there for blood. They're going to, even though they sold in the warehouse, they're still going to shoot him and take their money.
Yeah, they planned on, this was planned from the beginning.
Yeah, so, and then he was, Smoke was in the army. And so he gets out his little army. As an aficionado I'm not a gun nut by any stretch of the imagination. But I really appreciated that the BAR he used, which was the Browning automatic rifle, was the appropriate way he actually used a BAR with only 20, because that thing has only 20 rounds and that thing goes out really quick.
And then he dropped it and picked up another gun.
Yeah, and it had the correct amount of ammunition in it. That's a little detail I like. But the real reason he did that, why is that? A lot of people said it felt like overkill. We didn't need that scene of him just murdering the KKK. I was like, well, there's actually a real practical reason, not just like I'm going to Django Unchain this right now. No, the real practical reason he killed the KKK is because his brother, being a vampire, was inside the warehouse, and the KKK found him.
Oh, you're right. He was hiding out there.
They would have killed him. So he was truly protecting his brother till the very
I didn't think about
end.
that.
I hadn't thought about that either. That's interesting.
Tam, tell us what about happened, the little coda at the very end in the bar.
So at the very end, it turns out that Sammy has led this long life, and he is a famous blues guitarist, and
Played
he's
by
working
famous blues musician Buddy Guy.
Ooh, didn't know that.
and he's working in a club in New York City, and it's the end of the night, and he's sitting down and he's having a drink, and then he has two visitors that bribed the bouncer to get in, and they come in, and it is Smoke and Haley Steinfeld's character. We don't know anybody's name.
And
Mary.
Mary.
It's Smoke and Mary have come and
As vampires.
as vampires now. So it's 50 years later,
More
60 years later.
More than that. It takes place in the 90s, so it's like 60, 70 years later.
Yeah. And they've come to say hi and just wish him well. And I think he thinks that they're going to kill him.
Yeah. He, Smoke looks at him because he's the same age, and now Sammy is very old, and he goes like, you know, you don't have long left. Do you want me to turn you? He goes like, no, I've seen everything there is to see. And what's really funny about the scene is when they come in the bar, they are dressed in very 1990s attire. They look like they just stepped out of In Living Color.
Yeah.
They have very loud, like he has like stacked, like his jewelry is like a big old necklace, and it was just like he looks perfect for the time
fade.
period.
He looks
it's
like
a
the
fade.
guy. He looks like the guy in A Different World.
Yes.
Yeah, the 90s was not subtle.
Yeah, no.
I lived it, trust me.
No. So, but no, it's a very poignant scene, and it wraps up the movie.
Oh,
very
I do.
well.
Yeah, that has that scene. It has that line where he asks him, "What was the happiest day of your life?" And he goes, "It was probably that." It's Sammy talking. He goes, "It was probably that day."
Yeah, before the vampire showed up.
But then he asks Smoke, and he goes, "Yeah, that was probably the best day of my life too." He goes, "It's the last day I saw my brother. It was the last day I saw the sun." And there's something really cool about that because vampires don't have reflections, so it truly was the last time he saw his brother because he cannot look in a mirror.
Yeah,
and
he
see
can't
his
ever
brother.
see him again.
And I thought that was a fantastic line.
Yep. And they're having fun being vampires.
They are.
They're not tired of it.
No.
That's the part I like the best. Was just like they're having fun.
Yeah.
You know, they're living their lives. It's great, and that's the part I was like, man, it's not so bad to be a vampire. All right. Moving on. Well, I was going to say we can talk briefly about 28 Weeks Later because that was a bigger movie when it came out than it is right now.
Maybe it's just because I've seen so many zombie movies and I'm very over the genre. But this one specifically, so the basic rundown of the plot is it's been 28 years since the zombie apocalypse has completely taken over England. But it's only England. It's been quarantined, so it's nowhere else. And England is
Which I
in
hate.
quarantine. It's the only way to make the movie work at all. I mean,
In that, yeah, I don't like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's good. And there's a small community living on a little island that is isolated from the mainland at high tide, and at low tide there's a causeway that you can walk across to the mainland where all the zombies are. And the first 15 minutes of the movie are a father taking his son across the causeway to show him how to scavenge for supplies and whatever and avoid zombies. And then the remaining hour and a half or something ridiculously too much of the movie is the little boy deciding for some reason to take his mother, who is dying of what is fairly obvious to us as brain cancer, but
Yeah.
not obvious to the kid because he's only grown up in a post-apocalyptic world. Taking her across to the mainland to try to get her medical treatment from
this mysterious
doctor who supposedly exists and is also insane. And if that sounds dumb, it's because it really is.
Hold on, one thing. And at the very end, the movie shifts into an entirely other gear, which was very odd.
Yeah.
The best. I'll let Justin go, but the best review I heard of that I read of this movie was first part. Oh, this is awesome. Second part. Oh, this is weird. Third part. What is this?
It's a different movie. The last
happened?
5 minutes were either the most obvious setup for a sequel ever or
it's a
just a
trilogy.
completely different movie.
It's a trilogy
It's
that they
gonna be
filmed
3.
back to back.
No. Only if the second movie does well with the third
It's already
movie.
filmed. The second movie's
I
already
don't
done.
think that's
Really?
accurate, but go ahead and tell me
Have
about
to do
your.
this
Okay.
2 more times.
So the second movie's already been filmed. So that's that. Anyways, so that was
You don't have to see it. You can skip it.
that was a
I
very
have to see it for this stupid podcast
about
my
to
friend
say,
wants to do.
How will he be on the podcast if he doesn't see it?
okay. The first
you could
act.
be a producer of the show, and then you can be on the podcast without having seen any of the movies.
To be honest, I can talk about a movie without having seen it. That's Justin. I want to hear why you liked it.
Okay, all right, so number one, we all know I'm a zombie fan, but I do like that this isn't really a zombie movie because they're not undead. They are very much alive and not in control of their bodies, which is terrifying. The first act is a father and son.
I think Samson is in control of his body.
Oh God! Everyone focuses. All right, for those who don't know, For those who don't know, all these infected, they don't have clothes because they're running around all the time and they don't have any control. So they're all naked. And I guess people were really distracted by the amount of prosthetic dongs. So
Yes.
Mita,
There were
it was
a
down
lot.
to his kneecap,
There were a lot.
and it was swanging.
It was, yeah.
That
He
was
was
the
like
first thing my wife mentioned too.
if we're
swanging.
being real in a zombie apocalypse, that would eventually happen. You wouldn't have clothes. Anyways,
Oh, I thought
They
you were
rot,
saying,
yeah.
well, how do you get the huge dong in the post-apocalypse?
What
Like,
must
You gotta
be
get
That's what I'm
swinging.
saying. Like, I'm not concerned about the fact he was naked. That
you gotta
made
get-
sense.
little bit of trivia. They had to use prosthetics because you can't film.
Oh, really?
You can't film genitals in front of children.
this would be the most famous man in the world, if not.
You can't film genitals in front of children
Yeah,
in the UK,
if
so
you
they had to
have-
put
if-
prosthetics on everybody.
If you have your real bits out during filming, that's called a porn.
Mm.
So everything gets covered. I mean, even if sex scenes,
it was.
She's
even
like-
in sex scenes,
She's
they have
holding
all
her
that
elbow
covered.
at a 90-degree
And
angle.
also, I mean,
and
there
swinging
there
back and
is-
forth. It's like a Coke can.
There is a pregnant infected,
And that's one of the
which
best scenes of the
implies
movie.
that they are now reproducing.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's anyway.
That's one of the best scenes of the movie.
It's
Okay, hold
it's
on.
beautiful,
It's-
but it doesn't work thematically.
Isn't
Hold
nature
on.
beautiful?
Before,
I
hold on,
know, bro. It was
Hold on.
not beautiful.
hold on.
That woman needed help.
Not because she's a zombie, but
Not, she did not need.
Let's let
Go ahead.
Justin-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's let Justin defend
For
this.
once, we're talking over Justin.
I know, it's weird. The first act of the movie is a father and son going, and if you look at it in a different angle, it's the son learning about death. He's being trained to kill, something that his mother does not want. And this little boy's world is kind of crumbling. He's losing his mother, doesn't know why, and his dad is
The
vehemently...
boy's name is Spike, by the way.
Spike.
Brilliantly played by Alfie Williams. I
Yes,
thought he was great.
He does an amazing. Actually, all the acting is amazing in the movie. And Spike goes out with his father, learns to kill, comes back.
And that part of the movie I liked. If that had been the whole movie,
Right.
I think I would have liked it a lot.
I'm with
more.
you. Because if I could piggyback on that, Justin, let me just get this out. I really liked it. It was like a. Damn it! The piano started.
we have some under
There's no way they
music.
can hear it.
Okay. All right. If for those of you who's hear a little bit piano, unlicensed music in the background, well, there's a piano recital going across at the News Amphitheater that I didn't know about. But anyway, we're trudging ahead. I like this movie because it seemed like an allegory to a old English pagan fairy tale about a knight and his squire going along the country. I like that part of it. When we got into the mom stuff, it was a little bit too out there. When they got to Bonehenge, which is what how could
Yeah.
they not call that thing Bonehenge?
Good point.
Which is this giant stack of skulls that Ray finds the doctor. I think those scenes are beautiful, but the logistics of the movie and how can you imagine, like, Maybe not.
Not to mention-
maybe I give humanity more credit, but can you imagine just leaving UK to rot?
Do you want me to talk about current events and how we let people
No,
rot?
I really do not. Well,
Cool.
I don't want any current events mentioned on this
Back to the
podcast.
movie. When they get to Bonehenge, that's the other problem, is that like it's some beautiful scenes, but the movie comes to a dead
Yes,
stop.
there's no action.
And for the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, nothing happens.
Go ahead.
That was my favorite part.
All right. Why?
Mine too.
Why?
Mine too.
I thought it was incredibly beautiful.
It was.
And there's like this, it's like death is inevitable.
Yes.
Especially in this kind
So
of
take us through
situation
what
that they're in.
happens.
Oh, no.
They need to know what you're talking about.
So they are wandering through the wilderness. They're trying to find a doctor, and they find to cure the mom's cancer. And they finally make their way to this huge clearing that this doctor has made his way to, and he is
His little compound.
his compound. And since the dead are just littering the countryside, he is in his own personal way giving them a burial and giving them what he considers probably some form of dignity back. He burns them.
He cremates
cremates
them.
them.
He
Cremates
cremates them and
cleans the
saves
skulls.
Stacks the bones.
and saves the bones, and he's created these huge towers out of the remains. So there is some semblance. There is something
To remember.
something
Yes.
there to show that this person
memorial.
exists.
This was a person who lived. Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously, and that my favorite part of the movie is when because Ray Fiennes always brings it. He's a wonderful actor. He's great in this, and I could just tell him like he's doing this for the paycheck, but he's bringing the goods. Because that scene where he talks to Spike and says is my mom going to die? He's like, yes. He's like, can you fix her? He's like, no. Even if I had all the tools at my disposal that I had before, I could not save her. And so it's kind of like a moment of acceptance. And when the mother dies, and he does the same thing, cremates her, and then cleans out the skull, cleans it, make it all fresh and shiny, and hands it to Spike and says, go up there and make sure it's a good spot, boyo, which I thought was really sweet. Although, this is one of those movies in the theater, I'm just like, oh, it's not bad, but when you start breaking it down and thinking about it,
It's a zombie movie. You've already failed at that.
oh, come on. But no, you can't just tear it like
Look.
that. If this was a Tubi movie that was direct to streaming or in a DVD rack, then maybe.
We haven't gotten to hear Justin's defense of it.
All right,
I wanna
defense.
or not defense, but why you liked it.
Yeah.
Act 1, the boy goes with his father, learns about death. When they come back, there's this huge celebration where the dad is lying about the accomplishments of the boy. Upon reflection of this movie, because I've seen it 3 times,
What does that look for?
the father does not want this responsibility anymore. He's tired of taking care of people. He doesn't want to take care of the mother. He doesn't want to take care of his son. He pawns the son off on his father. He doesn't want responsibility. That's why he wants Spike to learn this so quickly, because he wants to move on.
With another family, you mean?
He does not want to be tied down, and this is driven to a point when the boy catches his father having an affair while his mother is dying.
I don't know if that was him wanting to move on. That was him. No, that
Oh,
was showing that even a father is imperfect.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I agree with Matt's
Hold
analysis
on.
there more.
There's more to him wanting to move on. There's more to that. So then the boy is desperate, and yes, he does something very stupid, because guess what, guys? Kids are kind of dumb, especially in a world where they don't have access to the knowledge we do. So yeah, taking her to an unknown doctor is a really stupid idea, but when you are desperate to save your mom, you might do some stupid stuff. So they take the mom out there, and there's a beautiful scene that's insane where there's this infected woman who's pregnant, and you hear her screaming in this train car, and Spike and his mother go in there, and she sees this woman who is infected giving birth, and she holds her hands up to her, and I had no clue what was about to happen, but my wife did, so this is definitely and she grabs the infected's hands while she gives birth, because even at our most primal nature, we want someone to be there for that, which I thought was amazing, and gives birth to a normal-looking baby, which they take, because if they leave it with them, presumably they might eat it, although I think in sequels we're going to see that that's not the case.
My immediate impression was that there's this giant zombie called Samson.
That's his kid.
That's his
chasing
kid.
them. Yeah, my entire impression of the movie was that it was more like a I Am Legend situation where the zombies are a lot more human than we're led to believe because we only see them through the image of the people who are terrified of them.
And if the only time they see
Samson's trying to get his baby back.
Yeah, and if the only time they see us is us killing them, that's why they're hostile.
Right.
So then there's that, and then they make their way to the doctor, and yes, the mom dies, and I was sobbing at that scene. That scene messed me up. Being a parent sucks. It makes scenes like that hurt 1,000 times more. Yeah. Oh my god. But that scene is beautiful. It's my favorite scene in the movie. And then the third act, crazy, but. Again, I've seen it 3 times, and so
it's not the third act. It's like the last 5 minutes.
No. The last 5 minutes is bonkers. The third act is crazy. So the third act is Spike taking the baby back to the compound, leaving it there.
I know.
That made no.
How did he get there so fast?
Hold on. That is crazy. Again,
how did he leave the baby hanging outside the outpost and no one saw him?
I know, and no one saw him. And
like
then
there were major plot holes.
That was dangerous. That baby could have drowned. Like if no one sees that baby's going to drown.
That is
he
fair.
leaves. All right, Spike comes back. He
leaves the baby.
Yes.
And upon my second rewatch, I got something. That baby. That obviously it's Samson. It's the Samson baby. That's going to be a problem at some point.
Yeah.
But
Samson's going to come looking for that baby.
He left that baby for his father. Because his father is desperately trying to get out of this situation, is now stuck with this.
I don't know about that.
I don't agree with that interpretation.
Okay,
that is not the read I got from the father.
No, yeah, I the father played brilliantly
Very
by
well
Aaron
done.
Taylor Johnson. I think he's a great actor.
I might be wrong.
He's allowed moments of frustration in a hard life.
Here's specifically
and moments of failing.
I get that, but
the movie opens with a scene, presumably, basically at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Open?
Yeah, the cold open, which I thought was maybe from 28 weeks later.
No, that's the character at the very end that shows up. That's his backstory.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's wearing the cross.
That makes more sense. I thought that was the father's backstory.
All right,
so never mind.
We're talking about. We got 2 more movies to talk about. So really quickly, talk about the last 5 minutes.
Last 5 minutes. Spike leaves the baby. He goes back to the mainland. He's going to try and just make it on his own, which is very stupid. And all of a sudden, he gets surrounded by infected, which would happen. You're being stupid. And out of nowhere, we hear the heavy metal version of the Teletubbies theme.
True.
And a bunch of people dressed up in different colored tracksuits, think Power Rangers, save him while doing unnecessary flips and quips, and it's very jarring. And then we see the child from the cold open. He is there. He's dressed up as a British person named Jimmy Savile, which is meant to be on purpose creepy because Jimmy Savile was a very bad person who did very bad things, but he was a children's show host. This person grew up
big
watching
in the
him.
UK.
Yeah. Also, there's a scene that does foreshadow this craziness at the beginning, where when Spike leaves with his father, he looks at his Power Ranger toys and he leaves them behind. So Spike is going to gravitate towards these people, obviously, because his world's been turned upside down and he's not doing well. And I agree, he needs his father, and I'm sure the second movie is going to be his father looking for him. That last 5 minutes is crazy and bonkers, but I got enough faith in Danny Boyle's history that I'm pretty sure they filmed the first 2 back to back. I'm pretty sure.
But he didn't direct it; another person directed it, and it's released in January. That's never a good sign for a movie.
That's true.
Just my I guess my final read on the movie as a whole, I think the biggest thing I didn't like about it was the kid. And specifically because he seemed to be 2 different characters. At times, he was this lost, confused, very childish 12-year-old who acts on an impulse and thinks that people are going to save everything, and he can just wander onto this mainland and be totally okay despite the many days that he spent there almost dying with his dad. And at other times, particularly at the end of the movie, he acts like a much more mature 17-year-old who's seen a lot and has decided he's ready to set out on his own. And I think the movie would have been a lot better if it had either taken place over a much longer period of time, so we see the boy grow up and change, or if he had just been older. Because I think it makes more sense for a 17, 18, 19-year-old boy see his father cheating on his dying mother, decide he has to be the man of the house and take things, take control of things, and he's old enough and seen enough that he thinks that he has reason to think he can survive on the mainland. I think that would have worked better. I think a key weakness for the movie for me was making the main character a kind of annoying 12-year-old boy.
I don't agree with all that. I agree with some of that, but I did love his performance a lot. I think it's hard to find child actors that can do that.
That's fair. He's a good actor. I just didn't like his character.
All right. Moving on. That was 28 weeks later, or 28 years later. You're supposed to get 2 more of those. We'll definitely get 1 more. All right, moving on to Weapons.
Oh, God.
This is a great movie. This is one of my favorite movies of the year.
So
Absolutely one of the best movies of the year.
Came out of nowhere. I was just like, I had heard about it. Zach Krieger is the writer-director. And also, here's probably why there's a secret reason why we kind of connect with this movie. Zach Krieger is probably very similar to how we are. He came from a theater background and a sketch comedy background.
The whitest kids you know.
Yeah, the whitest kids you know was his sketch group. And for him to pull kind of like a Jordan Peele and just like is really cool because he is a great writer. He wrote and directed a movie called Barbarian, which I thought was
very good.
90% of a great movie.
98% a great movie.
The very ending I don't like, but yeah, I thought it was really good up until that point. All right, but let's talk about Weapons.
All right, so the initial plot is actually just a dope plot hook. Teacher comes to work one day, and every single solitary one of her students in her class is missing except one. There's no reason for it. It throws the town into an uproar. Everybody wants to know where the kids went.
And they see their kids. It's important.
Yes,
on the security, on everybody's ring doorbell
camera.
cam. They see the kids run out. Well, what time is it?
2:17.
2:17. They see them run out at 2:17 a.m. They run like this, and everybody runs at the same time. And now, this is a true story about what happened because I didn't want to leave this out. I went to go see this movie, and when we went to go see it at Goldsboro, Tamara had to go. We drove separately, and Tamara had to go head home. So I was kind of. No, I remember what it was. The listeners must know I had to use the bathroom, and so Tamara wanted to go home, and I left behind and used the bathroom. And I'm walking out. And there was a dude, and he was literally carrying a pillow and a blanket, and he was going to see a movie, and he didn't know what movie to see. And he just I had never seen this person before. And he goes like, "Hey man, what movie should I see?" I'm just like, Weapons. He's like, "What's it about?" I was just like, "All the kids are gone and they don't know why." He's like, "My man," and he gives me he dabs me right there, and I want to know what he thought of the movie. I didn't see him again, but that was the hook. I was just like, the kids are gone, they don't know why. He's
It's
like,
a great hook.
That's exactly what it is.
It's a great hook.
So it's split up into chapters. Keep going.
So they film from different characters' perspectives. So they start with the teacher, and she is a barely functioning alcoholic because of this. She ain't doing good. Everybody thinks it's her, particularly this one father who is just
Played
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, who played the
Thanos.
Archer.
what?
Oh.
He played the character of Archer, and who played the school teacher?
Julia Garner.
Yes,
Yes.
from
Ozark. From Ozark,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
amazing. I love her.
Great.
And we can spoil this whole movie, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah, if they're
Spoiler
listening
alert.
if they're listening to a movie podcast with us, they just might as well know that we're going to tell you the whole plot.
They should have figured it out by now.
they show you her and her day, and her day ain't going good. She's basically just drinking herself to death. It switches to the father. His day ain't going good. He's basically obsessed. He's trying to find out where these kids went, and he has a brilliant idea. I do love this writing, where he goes to each person's house, the parents who lost their kids, and asks if he can see the ring cam footage. Some say yes, some say no. And he's a engineer.
He's construction.
Contractor.
Contractor, and he takes a map out of the town and is like, okay, this one's going in this direction, this one's going in this direction.
He triangulates
and he's
it,
triangulating where they're all running, and it intersects on this house.
But we're leaving out a big point here.
I'm getting to it.
No, but you said all the kids left. There was one.
There was one. No,
there
there was
was
one
only
left.
one kid that was left in the room.
And his life is also kind of in shambles. He isn't doing great, but we'll get to that in a second. He I forget how he ends up with the teacher in for him to tell her about the triangulation of the house. I don't remember how that happened.
That happened after.
The gas station.
Then we cut to a scene where the principal, who works at the same school as the teacher, she's at a gas station. The father pulls up next to her,
He goes
like,
like, "Hey."
happens to see her and pulls up and wants to talk to her more about him. He's basically accusing her of having
Yeah.
done
He
something.
painted
What do you know?
witch on her
And
truck.
Yeah.
the principal comes out of nowhere, running just like the kids in the cameras, and starts attacking the teacher,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Horribly.
just blindly.
So he is
attacking with
possessed
teeth
by
and
something.
fists.
Yeah.
This adult man that we previously saw was
Very normal.
very normal, mentally competent. Out of nowhere, his eyes are bulging, and he is doing everything he can to kill Julia Garner. And so we're wondering what is going on, and it. Then that's the moment Chapel Roan shows up.
Oh God! You love that joke.
I'm going to have to cut that out because people feel strongly about her. But anyway, so we progress to the story. We see a cop played by the guy who played young Alden Ehrenreich. His name is Paul, and he was young Han Solo. He was also great in a movie called Hail Caesar. He has a brilliant scene in that. I've always thought he was a good actor. I'm glad to see him getting work.
Yeah.
He's a cop, and he's trying to stay sober, and it doesn't help that the teacher, that same teacher, Julia Garner, what is her name? Justine keeps calling him, even though she has a girlfriend and is trying to stay sober, and believe me, the girlfriend's on top of him trying to stay sober. And Julia Garner knows his weaknesses because they dated and invites him, and they of course hook up. And so that's the third chapter, and then the fourth chapter is
the junkie.
Yes,
amazing, maybe the best
great.
character.
It's
in the
crazy how good he is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tam, now tell us about in the future chapter when Gladys shows up.
It is hilarious.
Yes,
is.
this movie
It is
is
so
very
funny.
funny.
It's very funny.
So we finally, after lots of stuff has happened, Justine and Archer finally make it into. They finally figure out, all of the children went to the one boy who's still around.
Yeah, Alex.
Alex. All of the children went to Alex's house. So they're hanging out outside the house. They're trying to figure out why. And they finally go inside, and it all comes down to this woman named Gladys, who, up until this point, when you've seen her in the background, you think she's like a grandmother. She's like an elderly aunt. She's here helping in some capacity. But no, she is crazy.
No.
She's a witch.
What is she?
She's a witch.
She's a witch.
No, when she shows up in the principal's office, it was really funny because I'm just like, well, she did it.
Yeah, she's the bad
Yeah,
guy.
she
This is
obviously
your
did it.
culprit. This lady looks like if an old lady put on Heath Ledger Joker makeup.
Yeah.
She's obviously has something to do, and then she steals one of the principal, because this is the one that goes crazy later. She steals a little bit of his ribbons or something in his office that he's touched that she needs.
No, she goes up to him and cuts his hair.
Oh yeah, which
No.
is.
Or is that his partner?
That's
That's
the partner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he
I
beats
think-
his partner's face. into the
Basically,
ground.
just to sum up, basically what happened was Gladys moved into town, took over this house, and was and she is dying of something.
Yes, she needs
probably cancer.
She's
or
dying of
or
old.
whatever.
I think she's just
Oh, yeah, I think she's just old.
Yeah, and she's using her witchcraft try to find a way to stay alive, and she has this little boy who she is controlling because she's got his parents in a trance, and will hurt them if he doesn't do what she wants.
Right, she can make the
she-
parents
she
can hurt
can-
themselves.
She
Yeah.
can do mind control, and this is hinted at various times throughout the movie. There's a whole, we watched like a 30-second clip of a documentary about this type of wasp that lays its eggs in ants and takes over their minds, and so that there's hints to what's going on throughout the movie. But basically, she has all the children. She has the boy take something from all the children, and then she casts a spell that draws all the children to her house, and she's hiding them in the basement for who knows what nefarious purpose. But one of the things that I really like about the movie that I thought did so well was, even though pretty much the minute we meet Gladys, which is about halfway through the movie, maybe a little bit more, it's really obvious that she's definitely did it. The movie doesn't try to pretend otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, immediately jumps into, yes, she is the bad guy. We're going to show you what happened, and it stays interesting.
It's really, the pacing is perfect, and that's rare to say about movies.
It's almost 2 hours long, and like, I was paying attention fascinated the entire time.
It's so good. I also like that there's not a single character in the movie that's like kind of a good or bad. They're all just
They're
kind
all
of
people.
messed up people.
I was listening to an interview with the director, Zach Krieger, and he was saying that the characters represent different stages of grief going through. And,
that makes sense.
Sure.
if you look at the characters, that makes sense. What is great is that you're right, Randy. The pacing is very good, and it holds your interest. I saw it twice in two different theaters,
Which is rare for Matthew.
I saw it because I wanted to see Justin's reaction when the ending happened.
Oh my God! Yes.
It was good. The ending was so funny.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the remarkable things. So the ending, which has some
hilarious.
brutal murder scenes, is still like, I was laughing out loud the entire
So was our
time.
theater.
Yeah, and you're supposed to. It is played for comedy. But before we get to that, I could feel whenever we got to character 5, that's the one after the crackhead, Alex, the little boy, and we see what happens in his house. Whenever the big title chapter said Alex, I felt the energy both times go out in the audience a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is one too many characters for us to keep up with. But they came back when they saw Gladys and what she was actually doing. I could feel them come back because I'm like, oh, they're actually keeping it interesting. Yes, Gladys, she's done it. They're in the basement, but why and how? And we basically discover why and how. How does she do it, baby? How does she ensnare the children and other adults?
So she enlists the help of young Alex because to do her little spells, she needs something that belongs to the person that she's going to control. So Alex brings her the name tags of all of the children in his classroom.
Of their cubbies.
From their cubbies.
That they all personalize themselves.
I know, it's so cute.
Such a cool concept.
And she uses those to control them. Which, by the way, I have never heard stepping back, I've never heard an audience react the way they did when she comes out. Or she sends the other girl out.
When she sends the mom out for the hair.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was
Oh my
so
God.
creepy.
The moral of this movie is lock your damn doors, people. Because Julia Garner is watching the house passed out, and she's probably had a little vodka in her sippy cup, and she's totally asleep. And out of nowhere, this lady just comes out with, she's like,
You can't see
look-
what my brother's
I
doing,
know.
but it's working.
She's like wobbling back and
their
forth.
movements is so
Yes.
good.
It's
The
hilarious.
movements of the controlled people.
And so-
they look like badly controlled marionettes.
She's holding a blade, and she sees Julia Garner, and then she's looking at the car window, and then she just kind of like a Muppet moves out of the car window area.
And then the light comes on.
And then all of a sudden we just hear this little boop, which is the door handle, and everybody's just like, oh God.
The whole theater just went, oh no.
And so
Edge of my seat. It was so
yes,
good.
and she comes in and clips some of her hair, and that's when a cut happens.
I do enjoy things that happen where the entire audience basically all react at one time.
Oh, we had a
It's
great
such
audience.
shared experience.
Yes, yes. We the second audience was your normal run of the day. Like we're just seeing a movie because it's cheap on a Tuesday, and they were so into it. Even the teenagers with their phones the whole time. Like I was prepared for that. But still, they were still into the movie. All right, so, okay. Alex knows how to do the little ritual with Gladys's hair and whatever token.
Yeah, there's rules to it.
Yeah.
He's seen her do
He's
it.
paid attention.
Yeah.
Yes, he's seen her do it. And
Let me do the climax. The climax of this movie is wonderful. The cop is possessed at this
Yes.
point. And he's fighting the cop. The junkie is possessed, fighting Justine. They're all fighting. Gladys is upstairs. She's got the parents of Alex, and Alex is everything is going. If it could go wrong, it's going wrong at this point. And
Alex is running through the house,
Yeah.
away from the parents, The Shining style, like running away from Jack Nicholson.
oh yeah,
And
he gets locked into this room, and he looks over. So the way it is, there's like a bowl of water.
You gotta have
and
water.
There's a stick of some sort, and you wrap the
The
belongings.
stick is from a special tree.
Yes,
Yes,
I don't know
that's
what it is.
the- yes.
Yeah. And you wrap the belongings around the stick, and you break it. And I'm guessing through mental thinking, you can
Magic.
target or whatever, and you just see Alex while his parents are beating the door down, which is hurting them horribly, by the way. Beating the door down, and he just takes. You don't see what he took, and then he breaks the stick, and it cuts
it's Gladys's hair,
it-
and she's just like,
It cuts to Gladys, and she goes,
what happened? What happened?
"Oh no!"
And then all of a sudden we hear this.
and then.
And this ascending scream
And the kids just
of
come
20 children.
20 children. And if you have never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the scene where he's running to get home while the principal's chasing him, while he's running through everyone's backyards and houses, it's that with Gladys being chased by 20 kids. And the way it works is she'll run through a house normally,
Yeah,
and
and
they'll
like-
run through the windows.
Yes, she'll run through the door, but they don't care about any type of
When I
obstacle.
tell you, the entire theater was laughing
it
their
was so
butts
good.
off.
One
It
part-
was so funny.
One part in particular, it just had me dying, and I've watched it on repeat. It's just there's this dude mowing. It's like
Yeah,
broad
yeah,
daylight.
yeah.
There's this dude mowing his
Yeah.
lawn. He just sees Gladys, the old lady, going, ah! And he's just like, that's weird.
It's
And then
quiet.
all of a sudden, it was
It's
just like the
quiet
kids
for a
going,
few seconds.
and they're just chasing her. And Namita, there's a connection there. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's this Tennessee Williams play called Suddenly Last Summer.
Yeah, I
and
know
we've
that
done it
one.
here, and I was in it, but at the end, the whole movie, and there was a movie with Elizabeth Taylor, but the whole play is about an old woman. This is Katharine Hepburn role, and she has to get her deceased son's fiance lobotomized because she keeps saying
Not a fiance, it's
What?
a cousin.
Cousin, okay. But weren't they kind of like
No.
together?
Everybody seems to think so, but
beard,
no.
like anyway.
She was his beard,
Yeah.
yes, but they were not romantically involved.
Okay, and the cousin will not stop talking about this terrible stuff that happened when he died. And finally, at the end of the play, she goes on this like 20-minute. There's this crap in the background that.
There's an opera singer out there
Yeah.
or something. What?
And she has this and at 20-minute, and I'm not exaggerating. It takes 20 minutes. She has this 20-minute monologue and tells us what happened to Sebastian on that Caribbean island. And what happened to Sebastian on that Caribbean island was that Sebastian was a pedophile and would bribe the very poor village children in exchange for sexual favors with food because they were starving. But then he did it enough times to where all the kids literally ganged up and chased him down the street and ate him. So that's the ending of Suddenly Last Summer.
Was this a comedy?
No, it was hilarious. No.
See, William's a dark fellow.
Yeah, and so when I saw this at the end of Weapons, because that's how Gladys goes out, the kids catch up to her and just rip
her to
apart.
pieces.
Right.
Can you imagine having more fun as a kid? Just like you get to rip the old witch
I
apart.
mean, that's one of the best things about the movie, too. I mean, there were a lot of best things, but it's clear that everyone in it is having such a good time. Like, this
Yeah.
was clearly a fun movie to make.
It was.
Well, and it's nice. I know it's sort of out of favor now, but the fact that the bad guy gets it in the end.
Yeah,
horribly,
that too. That is nice.
horribly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
there's
like-
not a clear resolution. There's a
No, it's sad ending, actually.
no, something
Yeah,
is lost.
it's true. Yeah.
Something. The kids aren't the same.
They're not. Some of them don't
Some
talk
of them talk,
anymore.
don't talk. Some of them do talk, but there's like this look in this kid's eyes that's just like, I don't know about him. And that's the final shot of the movie. It's
And
this
Well,
weird look.
yeah.
Alex doesn't get his parents back. He
I mean,
has
I
a-
was
he-
going to say, like, there's an innocence lost
yeah.
there, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
but at least the bad guys.
I will
what
say
they deserve.
this.
Unlike the next movie, Bring Her Back, which God, I hated that movie.
I will say this about
Interesting.
Weapons. Zach Krieger said that the Gladys taking over the parents is how he felt about when his dad became an alcoholic.
Oh,
He said
yeah.
that's what it felt like. It felt like something moved into my house and took over my parents.
Yes, I went to school and I was happy, but there was something dark going
Yeah.
on when I got home.
You hated
Well,
Bring Her
that-
Back.
All right, moving on to Bring Her Back, which is our final movie we're really going to get into. This is also the movie that most of us have seen most recently.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Also,
me and Tim-
a witch.
So, Bring Her Back is a film by directors Michael Filippo and Danny Filippo. They did previously another great horror film called Talk to Me.
Oh, that was
They-
great.
same
That was a
directors?
great.
Why did they make the same movie twice?
Yeah, I was going to talk about it. It does have similar themes. But
Just ask M. Night Shyamalan about that sort of thing.
he's been writing it for 20 years.
That's the twist, Mia. There is no M. Night Shyamalan.
So, Bring Her Back is a movie about loss, grief. Briefly tell me what it's about, Randy, but I want Tam to really get into the whole video tutorials of it all.
What makes me laugh about all of this is Matt trying to bring Tamara in, and every time he says Tamara, tell us, she's like,
I'm getting
I
the
don't wanna
impression
do it.
Tamara doesn't like horror movies very much.
I love
She
horror.
loves
She doesn't like
horror
talking about them.
Okay.
I'm just scared to talk about it because
No.
I don't want to be.
No,
dumb.
Tamara loved this movie.
This is a safe space.
I should
I
clarify.
don't know anything about any of these movies, and yet I chime in on a regular basis.
That is true.
I should clarify. I didn't hate this movie.
I actually really liked it. I have one issue with it.
There,
All right,
there were
but let's
parts
tell-
of it I enjoyed.
let's
but,
get a synopsis first.
Basic synopsis is, and I'll just summarize the whole plot instead of walking you through the whole thing. A woman who lost her daughter at like 10 or 12 years old age discovers some videos, naturally Russian videos, purporting to show you how you can bring a soul back from the dead and put it in another person. So she...
It's real easy too.
Apparently, it's shockingly easy.
I was gonna say, are the Russians known for bringing people back from
It's
the
like
dead?
gross.
like-
It's like village. Like
It's like snuff
Siberian.
videos. It's like
Oh, okay.
it's like
snuff film.
If you found a
Got
snuff
it.
film, it would probably be in Russian.
Got
Same
it.
thing.
Yeah.
So basically, she kidnaps one child and puts a demon in the kid, and then becomes a foster parent for these other two children who have just lost their father, who we
Which
find
she
out
also
was.
killed.
We don't know that.
We don't
She
know
says
that.
it at the very end.
She
Does
might.
she
Be,
really?
she might be
Yeah.
messing with you.
There's
Oh,
a-
I didn't actually.
Oh, she
know
does
that. I
say
missed
she
that.
did it, but I don't think she did.
I
I
don't
missed
think
that.
she
She
did.
talks to the kid. She goes, yeah, after I killed your dad. And he goes, what'd you say? And he goes, after your dad died.
I
And
think
I'm like,
she's
she
gaslighting them
I
again.
completely missed
She
that.
could be messing with him.
But anyway, so these two kids whose dad has died. We find out later that he was horribly abusive to the son, but the son and the daughter are still very
Daughter
close.
is blind.
Daughter is blind. she becomes their foster parent with the intent of using the demon and the boy she kidnapped to transfer her daughter's soul, because she still has her daughter's body on ice, literally, into the blind girl.
It's really easy how you do it. You have to have the body of the person you want to bring back. Someone has to die the same way. So you're right. Pretty easy so far. Like, hey, her daughter drowned. Got to drown someone else. Here's where it gets complicated. Then you got to get someone to eat the body of your deceased person.
The angel, the demon.
Yeah, whatever's in that kid. And then just regurgitate it into the mouth of the fresh dead one that died the same way. And presto, you got your loved one back. And it's easy, guys.
One of my favorite things about the movie, which had a lot going for it, it's A24, so, but that's actually also one of my major problems with it. But one of the things I enjoy about the movie is there's a number of scenes with the little boy with the demon in it, just kind of standing around clearly like, do I do it now? Like this demon is like,
he's hungry.
I've got a job to do. I'm supposed to eat and then vomit up a life force. What are we just
He's
standing around here for,
And
folks?
Sally Hawkins, the lady who plays the foster mom, is waiting for the rain to fill up the pool
Right.
because that's how her daughter died.
Yeah.
So he's
The
standing there,
look of the little
standing there-
boy's face
Yeah,
is
dude,
quite
yeah.
funny.
When
He's
he
standing there
eats the
tapping his
table-
watch, going, I got to catch a bus later. Let's do this thing.
Right. But anyway, there are some. It's an A24 film, and they do a lot of things really well. It's very well directed. It's very well acted and scripted. All the basic bones are there. It's very. It's beautifully shot. There are some really beautiful scenes in it. It's very gory at times.
The gore was great.
The gore was good. That's one of my problems with A24 is that the gore is always very artistic. It's not super.
I don't know,
it's not
man.
like grisly.
I want to know how they did the table when he ate the table.
The table
and it
was
broke
good.
his
Like
teeth
if you don't like teeth, if you've got a
Yeah.
problem with teeth, which a lot of people do, my wife does. It's one of the few things that still makes her.
if you don't want to
squeamish.
watch someone eat a
It's-
butcher knife, don't watch this
Yeah,
movie.
it's got some impressive scenes. But I think my biggest problem with this movie and with A24 in general is that their last several movies, the last 6 or 7 of them, whether it's Hereditary or Midsommar or Talk to Me or this one, they're all very similar. They all have a very similar plot arc where horrible things happen at the beginning, and this person who went through this horrible trauma goes through more trauma, and the bad guys never get anything, and at the end, everyone is miserable, no one's happy. Wasn't that an awful experience? Go home, everybody.
So what's weird is I agree with you, especially on this one. I wanted they had the perfect messed up ending for this movie that I thought they were. I feel like someone at some point said, "Never mind." They make a point of saying, "No, has to drown in rainwater. Has to drown in rainwater." They make a point to show you that the boy gets drowned in a puddle of rainwater. And then they make another point when it's all gone wrong at the end, where Ollie is just like, I can't cross the salt barrier. And I'm like, oh, he's going to go back inside and put it into the boy because he drowned in rainwater. Yeah. I thought for certain that was going to be the ending because that would be so messed up. And then he just crosses the salt barrier, which he never did before, movie ends. And I'm like, that's
not exactly how the movie ends. Also, the mother who murdered 2 different people and basically tortured a little boy just basically gets arrested. Like, she's just lying in a pool with her daughter.
She goes completely crazy.
And this is Australia, so, like, she's not even going to get life in prison.
It is, you're right, it is Australia.
You live in Australia. Isn't that already
Australia.
life in prison?
I don't think they have that.
No, he's talking about.
There you go.
As long as you stay out of the middle, you're doing all right. Okay. This was really funny, and I wanted to talk about this movie because me and Tam watched it, and I was struggling with it, and Tam was getting it, and it showed. Me and Tam have similar personalities, but it really highlighted a big difference in our personality watching this movie. It's like when I cook and she cooks. All right, when I cook, I need to follow the recipe. When she cooks, she's more fiddle-dee-dee, come what may.
Just vibes.
Yeah, we're cooking on vibes. We don't need any.
So Tamara's the cook.
No, I'm the cook. I need to follow the recipe, and she was getting the whole. I wasn't understanding the ritual at all. I'm just like, well, wait a minute, and she's like, no, it doesn't matter. You're thinking about it too much. Like, okay, the angel has to eat the face of the dead person. Like, how much? A cup? 2 cups?
Oh, that's another problem I had. They show the boy with a gigantically distended belly, and then they show the corpse of the girl, and she's missing like a quarter of her face.
That's
I'm
the
like,
soul.
Okay, eat more. You like your belly is full, and I'm like, eat more.
Maybe he ate more of the
show
brother. We don't see how much of the brother.
Well, they show
eaten.
the video, and he ate a whole bunch in that video.
Things are always helpful with video tutorials, and it's kind of like
That
What
wasn't.
I YouTubed it.
That
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah, no,
you.
it was
Yeah.
like no, it was. It's a snuff film, and like be sure to like and subscribe.
You want your homies back. This is what you do.
Be sure to check out Audible.
They're not gonna be. They're gonna be fine with this.
They're doing it while they're putting on makeup.
Yeah.
Like,
But here's the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
guys.
the circle light.
Guys, you brought this up to me. We don't even know if.
We don't even know if it works.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. So I actually wanted one of two
In the
things.
Russian video, it did.
Yeah, but
Yes.
we don't know.
No, it could
we
have
don't
been-
know if that's the
it could have
person.
been
it could be
doctored.
fake.
True.
We don't
That's
know if
what-
that's the person. We don't know if it's a demon. We don't know if it's
That's true.
like
that is.
But
Yes.
I think that's kind of the point of the movie, insofar as it had a point.
Yeah.
That grief will drive people
Yes.
to do horrible things that may not even work.
Yes.
They had this moment at the end where either what I said, where they do it to the boy and it works, and now his life is over, or what you said, where they do it. They do it, vomits in their mouth, and then nothing happens. That would have been so, because it's already an awful ending.
Those
No
would
one's
have been
getting a
better.
happy ending
Yeah,
here.
those would have been
I
better
think
endings.
any of those two endings would be better than, well, guys, I goofed. So I'm just gonna, I guess I'll go to prison. And it's like,
It wasn't satisfying. It wasn't a satisfying.
Ollie's ending is so horrifically sad.
But at least he survived. I
I
thought the
would-
brother's was even worse. The brother lived his entire life getting beaten by his dad, and then gets drowned in a puddle of water and eaten.
And he had to get piss poured on him like 3 times, man.
Yeah.
There's some awful. Yeah, there is some. The lady does some awful, evil things in the movie. But the most evil thing she does is to make that kid think he was peeing the bed when she was actually pouring the pee on him when he was
One
asleep.
of the things, like the psychological,
The gaslighting
stuff
is
he does. It's
scary.
Yeah.
gaslight, girl boss, gatekeep.
Damn.
That's what she does.
I also thought
Glad-
she was going to put the pee in the pre-workout, so it could have been worse.
Yeah.
She put something in the pre-workout though.
His-
That must
That's
have
what my
been
wife
cut.
thought too.
His protein
Because
shake.
He kept waking up like drooling.
Well, and they
and-
show whenever the social worker gets there, she rushes to get
Yeah,
rid of
yeah,
it.
you're
So
right.
she was
You're
doing
right.
something.
She
to
was
the
drawing
Also,
out
program.
that is a plot hole I have. This is going to be hard to describe to people who haven't seen it, but there's no way on that short drive she cleaned that house as good as she
Yeah,
did.
no, I agree with that, too.
Blood cannot be gotten out of things like that.
You're sitting
with
there
that.
saying that, but then in the next scene, we're talking about a demon transporting somebody's soul into
Well,
another
all right,
person.
But there-
all right,
there's-
hold on. We knew the social worker was dead the instant she said, "I'll take you to the house," right? Every
Right.
audience member knew she was dead, right?
Yeah.
So if we already know she's dead, what's the point of covering up the mess in the way they did? Just go ahead and have the mess there. She discovers the mess and dies.
There's also something to be said for, like, we've accepted in this universe demons exist and can possess bodies
Yeah.
or whatever. We've accepted that. It's another thing to suspend, like, your knowledge of how long it takes to drive to the next town over. Like,
Yeah.
especially when they've shown it
And
happen
they were on
multiple
the way
times.
when she got the phone call. They were
Yeah.
already en route, and then all of a sudden, everything's cleaned up except my one little arm bite. And I'm like, no, there was a pool of blood on your wooden table, on your floor, on your fridge. There was broken shit everywhere. You did not clean that. That would take you a whole day.
She's trying to cover up for the fact that if the social worker comes over, who she knows because this foster mom was a former social worker,
Yeah.
and so she knows this person that's coming over, but she's trying to make her house look presentable after the little demon kid messed up everything.
Yeah, Ollie was useless. He was kind of a burden.
Poor
Leave
Ollie.
Ollie alone.
Ollie's had a hard time. Okay.
He's
Ollie
had a
had
hard day.
real rough 2 weeks.
Okay. Anything else we want to say about Bring Her Back?
I guess the only other thing is it's really interesting that when you mentioned that the same directors did Talk to Me, because I thought that was terrific, and I thought that was far better than Bring Her Back.
You know,
thought
I
that
didn't
was-
know that, and yes, I agree.
And it explores so many of the same themes. Being able to talk to the dead instead of putting their soul into a body, they're able to talk to dead people through a possessed hand. Very similar thematic movies, and it makes me wonder why these guys can't come up with a new idea. Because they've got some good, like, they clearly know how to direct a movie that looks good. It's just the content that they're struggling with.
Guys, thank you. Appreciate you guys' thoughts on the horror movies that have come out this year. There's been a lot of good ones. It's looking a really good year for horror. The spooky double feature coming up, Mita, and I hope it's a success. I will be here. Dracula is literally like 71 minutes long, and I think Killer Shrews is something similar.
Dracula is an hour and 20 minutes, like 81 minutes. I think Killer Shrews is an hour 10.
Yes.
Or something, or an hour 8. So yeah, with both movies, you'll be out of here in less than 2.5 hours. So yeah, and admission's free, but we will be taking donations. We'll be open to taking our donations at the door. Concessions will be for sale. And everybody's like, so how's this going to go? Are we going to dress up? If you want to dress up by your favorite character, knock yourself out. I'm not sure anybody will get what you're dressing as in the Killer Shrews, but not, if that's what you want to do.
If you want to dress up as a shrew, knock yourself out.
Oh, the best part of Killer Shrews is the shrews. They're basically dogs in bad mops.
That's kind of what I was picturing.
Yeah, they're like I've never
I'd be
seen a
bad,
shrew
like,
with dreadlocks, but there you go.
Version of like the rodents of unusual size.
Oh yeah,
I don't believe in them.
Rodents of unusual size actually look like a rodent.
They actually do look pretty good.
The shrews look ridiculous.
Good. I might have to see this. That sounds fun. Holy God, that's hilarious.
The up close versions are puppets.
Might
The
do
far
this.
away versions,
Yep.
like when they're running
Dogs
through the
wearing
thing,
masks.
they're dogs wearing coats, basically.
Nice.
And it's very funny because there's a scene where they're trying to get into the compound, and the dogs are just happy to be there.
Right.
They're just
Yeah,
little
see the
tails
tails
on one.
wagging.
That
Yeah,
scene.
right. That's
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Okay, so come out to see that. Thank you for listening to this spooky edition of our Halloween podcast. We will have
Spooky.
we will have the episode where we talk to some of the cast of.
One Christmas Eve at Evergreen Mall.
Thank you, Mita, and that'll be our next episode, probably sometime in November. And until then, keep your loved ones close before the weird witch lady who looks like Chapel Rome comes and gets you. All right, for Matt Gore, I am your host, and that's my producer, Mita.
So,
We'll talk to you later.
bye.